Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predicted 11 for Manchester United's game against Atlanta in the Champions League group stage. So I'm going to go with the 4-2-3-1 formation. So in goal, David De Gea. Obviously David De Gea was in goal for our last game against Leicester, and he made some very good saves, but couldn't do anything about Youri Tielemans' equaliser. David De Gea has done really well so far this season. He has made mistakes in the last couple of years, but he's made up for that so far this season. De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back. In the summer, De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and it said De Gea is determined to fight for his Man United future. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Manchester United, so he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea has under 2 years left on his contract, and he receives £375,000 a week. Now at right back, I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka. He's available for this game. He didn't play in our last game in the Champions League group stage because he was suspended. Bissaka got sent off in our 2-1 defeat to Young Boys. Bissaka played against Leicester last weekend. I thought it was poor. Didn't get forward enough. Made a rash challenge on Timothy Castagne. And he looked in 6s and 7s for Leicester's 3rd and 4th goal. There's aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that need to improve. But despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. This season is Wan-Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. We got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Now the two centre-backs, I'm going to go with Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof, as you all know, I've got my strong reservations about him. Analysing the vast majority of the games he's played at Manchester United, he's been inconsistent. He has had some good games though, but not many. I'm hoping Manchester United sell Lindelof next year. I haven't heard any rumours about him leaving next year yet. We got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017. We paid 31 million for him. He's got a contract with Man United until 2024. Harry Maguire, he played against Leicester last weekend. I heavily criticised Solskjaer for playing Maguire against Leicester. Maguire didn't look fully fit. He's just come back from a calf injury that he sustained in our 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa earlier on this season. So he was rushed back too soon by Solskjaer, and Maguire was abysmal against Leicester last weekend. He made a couple of howlers. Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season, but he's had his good games at Man United, he's had his bad games. We got Maguire for 80 million from Leicester back in the summer of 2019. Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and is the second most expensive signing at the club, behind Pogba. At left back, I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's been out of form so far this season. Where was the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was superb. I'm sure as the season goes on, Luke Shaw will regain his form. Not so long ago, Shaw came back from minor injury and illness. Obviously, Shaw played against Leicester last weekend and don't think he was too good. Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while. He still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last year. Shaw's had a good career at Manchester United despite the injuries he's had. Shaw's been at Manchester United for like 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. At one point, he said Man United were in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. He's got under 2 years left on his current contract. Now, centre midfield, I'm going to go with Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. Paul Pogba played against Leicester last weekend. Didn't really do much. I do think though Pogba's enjoyed a good start to the Premier League season. He's already got 7 assists in the league. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season Pogba was out with a thigh injury for a while and he sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. Now Pogba recently said that something needs to change at Manchester United after Manchester United's 4-2 defeat to Leicester. So reflecting on that, is Paul Pogba Solskjaer out? I want Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United because he's a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Last week, Andy Mitten from The Athletic said that Manchester United offered Pogba a £400,000 a week contract to stay at Manchester United. It would see Pogba become the second highest earner at Man United. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a Man United contract offer, and earlier on this season it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. Earlier on this season, though, it said that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United, and Paul Scholes backed Paul Pogba to stay at United. Scholes said Pogba should be delighted playing football in England, as the Premier League is the best in the world. And Scholes also mentioned that, Real Madrid and Barcelona are a complete mess. During the international break, Pogba refused to rule out a Juventus return. He did admit that he always speaks to his ex-Juventus teammates. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Earlier on this season, Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola suggested that Pogba could return to Juventus from Man United on a free next summer. PSG have been in for Pogba not so long ago. League 10 Sports said that PSG are ready to offer $500,000 a week to Pogba if Paul Pogba decides to leave Man United next summer. PSG wanted Pogba in the summer transfer window, but they couldn't get him because they got Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi's leaving PSG because not so long ago Lionel Messi did a press conference and he was crying. He recently said that Pogba was offered to Barcelona. Inter Milan have been in for him before, and the Daily Mail said not so long ago that Real Madrid are ready to offer Paul Pogba $12 million a year and a $25 million transfer bonus, as Pogba's agent Mino Raiola is pushing his client to join Real Madrid. The other week, Spanish publication AS said that Real Madrid are back in the race to sign Pogba on a free transfer when his contract at Manchester United expires at the end of the season. Real Madrid think Pogba could help convince Mbappe to join next year. Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with Pogba before. So reflect on all of that. Pogba has had a long running transfer saga. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid $89 million for him. Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and this season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. Scott McTominay, he didn't start against Leicester last weekend, but he did come off the bench. I've got my concerns about McTominay. I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. But he has had his good games at Man United. He had some good games last season. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. McTominay has been part of the club for a long time, as it stands. On the left wing, I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford scored on his comeback last weekend against Leicester. It was Rashford's first appearance since the Europa League final last season. The other week, Rashford scored twice in that behind closed doors game against Blackburn. Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while. Don't forget he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Don't forget, Marcus Rashford's camp were recently unhappy with Solskjaer. Solskjaer told Rashford he needs to prioritise his football over his off-pitch activities. Rashford is a good player, but he has enjoyed his bad periods at Man United. Like I've mentioned before, we need to keep him on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford's under contract with Man United until 2023. Still young Rashford, got a lot of development in him. On the right wing, I'm going to go with Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood scored against Leicester last weekend. That was his 4th goal in the Premier League this season. It was a stunning goal as well by Mason Greenwood. Could have had a couple of other goals against Leicester because he had some good other chances. I think there was one chance where Greenwood hit the post. At one point, Greenwood did go a long time without scoring a goal, but despite that, I think Greenwood's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Plays a lot of games now. Still young, got a lot of development in him. Attacking midfielder, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes played against Leicester last weekend. He got the assist for Mason Greenwood's goal, but apart from that, didn't really do much. There has been quite a few games where Bruno Fernandes has looked off the pace, but he's been consistent in a lot of games for Manchester United. Revert back to what I've said before, Bruno Fernandes is one of our best players, and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He said earlier on this season that Fernandes was close to signing a new 5-year contract with Man United, worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. At the moment, Fernandes is under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. But earlier on this season, Fernandes made it clear that he wants to stay at Manchester United. And the striker, I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo obviously played against Leicester last weekend. He was anonymous for the vast majority of that game. He did have a couple of chances. I just felt as though against Leicester, Ronaldo didn't get enough service. Ronaldo wanted to go off the pitch against Leicester, but Solskjaer stopped him. Now, before the international break against Everton, Ronaldo didn't start. And reflecting on that, Ronaldo was annoyed with Solskjaer. And Solskjaer got heavily criticised for not starting Ronaldo against Everton. But despite that, Solskjaer did say at that point that he had no regrets over not starting Ronaldo. Prior to the Leicester game, Ronaldo did inform Solskjaer that he wants to play in every single league game after he was left on the bench against Everton. Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. Ronaldo's done well though since he's re-signed. He's scored 5 goals in all competitions so far. And during the international break he scored a hat-trick for Portugal against Luxembourg. Earlier on this season, it said that Ronaldo wants to retire at Man United, then coach Cristiano Jr. in the Red Devils youth team. And prior to the Villa game, Solskjaer said he believes Ronaldo can keep playing for Man United into his 40s. He's 36 at the moment. Ronaldo's already hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo's under contract with Man United till 2023. Ronaldo receives around £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt and we got him for 19.8 million with add-ons included. He's the greatest player of all time though. Ronaldo's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. So that's how I think Manchester United will line up against Atlanta. Obviously, there's no Rafael Varane. Varane is out with a groin injury. Varane is out for a few weeks. Varane came off injured in France's Nations League final against Spain. He went down holding his leg. He got replaced by Dayot Upamecano in the 43rd minute. By the way, Martial's got a knock, so he's not available. So far in the Champions League group stage, Manchester United have won 1 and drawn 1. Because obviously we beat Villarreal 2-1 in our last game in the Champions League. Ronaldo saved us. He scored in the 95th minute of stoppage time. If it weren't for Ronaldo, I wouldn't have won that game against Villarreal. And we lost to Young Boys 2-1. Solskjaer was accountable for that defeat against Young Boys, because his tactics were wrong and his substitutions were wrong. Lingard cost us that game though against Young Boys with that back pass he played in stoppage time. But Manchester United are coming into this game against Atlanta on the back of a 4-2 defeat to Leicester. It was the first time we lost away from home in the Premier League since January 2020. Reflecting on the defeat to Leicester, Manchester United are winless in their last 3 league games. And Manchester United have only won 2 of their last 7 games in all competitions. So reflecting on that, the pressure has mounted on Solskjaer. Atlanta, they finished 3rd in the Serie A for the last 3 seasons. Atlanta are 6th in Serie A. They won their last game 4-1. They're sitting top of our group at the moment. Atlanta's current manager is Gasperini. They do have some injuries as well. Manchester United have got a massive game on Sunday. We're at home to Liverpool. So, Solskjaer is facing a daunting run of fixtures. Obviously we've got Liverpool on Sunday in the league. Then after Liverpool in the league, it's Tottenham. Then it's Man City. Arsenal and Chelsea's coming up very, very soon. And we're likely to drop points in them games. The Athletic said the other day that Solskjaer will not be sacked by Manchester United despite Man United's poor form. So Solskjaer's job is safe. And Solskjaer will be allowed to spend up to 70 million in January. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.